American Express credit cards. Everybody knows about them, some people like them, but very few people know how to actually use them, at least when it comes to redeeming the rewards for maximum value, aka fancy travels. So in today's video, we're going to forget about cashback, forget about gift cards, forget about merchandise and all that other stuff, because none of that is going to give you great value for your points. In fact, if you want to get the max value out of your Amex membership rewards points, the number one answer is going to be transfer partners. Now, if you're brand new to the world of transfer partners, definitely go watch this other video right here, which is my beginner's guide to transfer partners that covers Amex, Chase, Citi, and Capital One all together. It covers all the fundamentals plus the mindset you want to have to build the right itineraries and where to look for the big value, plus how to use the online tools to make the transfers happen. But if you've already checked off all those boxes and you're ready for some big redemptions, I'm talking up to like 10 cents per point, then watch the rest of this video. And so the fun begins with our first maximum value redemption, which is going to be Lufthansa first class to Europe. And I put first class in parentheses because I'm also going to show you an economy redemption. So first, the method. What you want to do is transfer your Amex points into Avianca LifeMiles and then redeem to fly Lufthansa first class. Now let's take a look at the points. So here's a flight that I found from New York JFK over to Frankfurt FRA. This is flight LH401, and even though we're using the LifeMiles website, it is operated by Lufthansa. To redeem for this flight in economy, you can use 24,000 miles plus $25.30 in fees and taxes, or for business class, it's 63,000 miles plus the same fees and taxes. So now doing a quick search for the cash rate of the same flight, we can see that economy goes for $1,579.80. And then doing a second search to see how much it would cost for a business class flight, that one is $6,372.80. And now looking at the points versus the cash to see how much value we get for our Amex points after transferring, for the economy flight, we take our cash rate, minus out the fees and taxes that we have to pay out of pocket in cash, divide that result by the 24,000 life miles that we have to use, multiply it by 100, and we get 6.5 cents per mile. Great redemption. And for the business class flight, same process. We take that cash rate minus the fees, divide by 63,000 life miles times 100, and we get 10 cents per mile. And may I just say that these two are fantastic redemptions. Now for a few tips. Lufthansa usually releases first class redemptions to its partners, like Avianca, roughly 15 days in advance. Translation, you'll probably have to book close to your departure date. Also, Avianca does not charge close-in booking fees, so you won't be penalized for having to book it so close. And Avianca does not charge huge fuel surcharges like a lot of other partners do. Therefore, this is one of the most affordable ways to fly to Europe. Now on to maximum redemption number 2, which is Singapore first class suites to Asia. Let's talk about the method. What you want to do is transfer Amex points over to Singapore's KrisFlyer program and then fly Singapore first class suites. Let's take a look at the points to see a real world example of what type of value you might be able to get from this. So here's a one-way flight from Los Angeles to Singapore on flight SQ11. And you may notice a variety of different redemption rates based on the time of the year and other factors. What you're ultimately trying to find as you're looking for award availability is the saver rates. In this case, it was 146,500 miles each way, and if you can't find saver, then the regular advantage rates are 228,000 miles. So flipping over to the cash rate of the same flight here, of flight SQ11, it is going to be $13,105 each way. Definitely crazy, but that's the price you pay for one of the best first class experiences on planet Earth. So now comparing the points versus the cash to see what type of value we can get here, looking first at the Advantage Award, that's the one that's easier to find but also costs more. We take the cash rate, minus out the fees and taxes, those are estimated here by the way, divided by the amount of miles that we had to redeem, 228,000, times 100, and that's still 5.7 cents per mile. But if you're able to find some saver award availability, we do the same math here and we're able to pull off 8.9 cents per mile, and that's what happens when you cover a really expensive cash rate with even fewer miles. Now for a few tips. You may see waitlist award availability if a confirmable seat is not yet available. So consider contacting customer service to see if they can confirm your seat. Also, you may be able to have customer service put an award booking on hold for a couple days if you're not yet ready to commit or if you need time to transfer points into the KrisFlyer program. Singapore also allows you to book stopovers, and the first class suites award bookings can only be made with KrisFlyer miles, at least at this time, so you cannot do it with partner airlines or alliance bookings or other miles. Finally, as you just saw, Singapore does not charge huge fuel surcharges for its flights, but you will have to pay them with partner flights. So if you were going to book like business class or premium economy or regular economy with miles from another partner airline, then you would have much bigger charges to pay out of pocket. Maximum value redemption 3A, because I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this one, and this is going to be Virgin Atlantic upper class to Europe. The first method that we'll discuss here will be to transfer Amex points into the Virgin Atlantic program directly to fly Virgin Atlantic upper class. Taking a look at the points here from the Virgin Atlantic website, this is a flight from New York's JFK Airport to London Heathrow on flight VS26. To fly upper class, you'd have to redeem 47,500 miles plus $725.30 in taxes, fees, and surcharges. And this is a one-way flight, by the way, so round trip would be double that. But what about those cash prices? Well, that same flight, VS26, would cost $4,829.80 in the upper class cabin. And doing our super fancy math here of the cash price minus the taxes, fees, etc. that you have to pay out of pocket, dividing by the 47.5K miles times 100, it's still 8.6 cents per mile for this redemption. But in case you don't want to spend that much money out of pocket each way, let's check out another method that would be more affordable, at least from a cash perspective. A second method that you can do instead is to transfer your Amex points into Delta Sky Miles and then use those miles to fly Virgin Atlantic upper class. With this approach, we search for the exact same flight, VS26, this time on Delta's website, and we see that it costs 170,000 Delta Sky Miles plus only about $6 in fees and taxes. Then if we perform the search a second time to show the cash rates on Delta's website, it's the same price, $48.30. Basically, Delta just rounds it up by 20 cents to show you a round figure. So comparing the points versus the cash, we do our math right there. $48.30 minus $6 divided by 170,000 Sky Miles times 100, 2.8 cents per mile. But now we get a load of this. If you had redeemed your Delta Sky Miles to fly on Delta instead of Virgin Atlantic, Delta would charge 375,000 miles plus $6 for a similar flight. So doing that math with Delta miles on a Delta Airlines flight, that would be only 1.3 cents per mile. And that's definitely far from great. Now putting all three of these here up on the screen, starting from the left-hand side, flying Virgin Atlantic with Virgin Miles gave us 8.6 cents per mile, but we had to pay over $700 out of pocket each way. These are all one-way flights again. In the middle, we have flying Virgin Atlantic with Delta miles, giving 2.8 cents per mile and only $6 of cash each way. And then flying Delta with Delta miles, that's only 1.3 cents per mile and about $6 of cash there. So here's the thing, y'all. It's not always about the greatest cent per point. It's also about how much money do you save on your trip. If you're willing to pay a bunch of money out of pocket while still saving thousands of dollars, then the first option can still be a great value. But if you'd rather minimize the amount of cash you've got to burn on your trip, then the middle option, flying Virgin with Delta miles, is by far the best one. Here are a few extra tips. Currently, Virgin Atlantic does not participate in any airline alliance, but they do have several direct partnerships, including Delta. You may get better award redemption values transferring from Amex to Virgin Atlantic directly or other Virgin Atlantic partners, but many of those options have huge fuel surcharges. That is, you'll need to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars out of pocket. Therefore, Delta may not give the highest cent per point value, but it's one of the best options to fly Virgin Atlantic upper class if you don't want to pay huge fuel surcharges. Let's keep things rolling with maximum value redemption number 4, which is Etihad to the Middle East. The method for this redemption involves transferring your Amex points into Air Canada's Aeroplan program and then flying Etihad business class, because we want to do so in style, of course. Let's take a glance at the points here to see what this might cost. Here's a flight departing New York City out of JFK over to Abu Dhabi on March 18th. This is a 3 o'clock flight, and the redemption value is 90,000 miles plus $49 Canadian out of pocket. If we then look at the cash rate for that same flight over on Etihad's site, we see that it costs $6,171.20. Now, viewing the points versus the cash, we take our $6,000 flight, minus out the fees involved. I converted it to US dollars, by the way, so about $37.55. Divided by 90,000 miles times 100, we get 6.8 cents per mile. Very solid redemption right there. But remember, we used Air Canada's Aeroplan miles to make this trip happen. What if you had redeemed Etihad miles for that same Etihad flight? The results are quite different. For that same March 18th flight, you'd have to redeem 120,000 miles plus $511.20 in taxes and fees. So doing the same type of math as before, our $6,100 flight minus $511 in taxes divided by 120,000 miles, we now have a much lower 4.7 cents per mile. Then putting those two side by side, it's very clear that the redemption with Aeroplan miles for this flight is going to be much, much better. Not only does it require 30,000 fewer miles, but it also costs only roughly $40 out of pocket instead of over $500. So it's basically a double savings using the Aeroplan approach. And as for a couple tips here, as we just saw, redeeming via Air Canada does not charge huge fuel surcharges, so a big savings there. And also Aeroplan allows you to add a stopover for an extra 5,000 miles. You want to do that by calling in to have an agent add that to your itinerary though. All right, so up to this point, we've only discussed major flights, and those are going to be by far the best way to get the maximum value out of your American Express points. However, there are still some great hotel redemptions out there to be aware of, especially if you still would rather not pay cash for them. So let's go over a few right now. The first of which are going to be low-priced Hilton hotels. The method involved here will be to transfer your Amex points into the Hilton Honors program directly and then stay at select inexpensive hotels with low point pricing. And I call that out specifically because some hotels may have low cash rates but still charge 20,000 points per night. So you want to find ones that still have a low redemption or award booking using your points. An example of this is the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel in Bali right by the airport, and it's actually a fairly decent hotel despite being one of the lower category properties. Believe it or not, the standard room reward rate is only 5,000 points per night. And if you look at the cash rate, which is over 700,000 Indonesian rupiah, but of course we want to convert that so we can better understand it in the US sense, that's going to be about $48.84. So taking that cash rate divided by 5,000 Hilton Honors points times 100, it's 0.98 cents per point. And for Hilton points, especially at a lower tier property, that's actually a very good value. Now, this is not truly about the cents per point necessarily, but rather the part to get really excited about is that you can get a room in a really nice international location for only 5,000 points per night. Now, on the flip side, for the exact opposite type of hotel experience, Hilton luxury hotels can also be a nice sweet spot for their program. The method here remains the same. Transfer Amex points into the Hilton Honors program, but now you're going to stay at luxury hotels instead, and we're also going to factor in the 5th night free opportunity, which comes when you have elite status in their program. And you can get elite status at any level. It doesn't matter which one. All the ones from silver to gold to diamond are all eligible, and you can get silver for free just by getting the Hilton Honors American Express credit card that has a $0 annual fee. So for a classic example of a great property to redeem for, this is going to be the Conrad Maldives Bengali Island. Just look at that location for a second. Totally unreal. Looking at the cash prices for 5 nights at this property, it's $1,140 per night, plus $570 in fees and another $782.40 in taxes, for a grand total of $7,052.40. Looking at the points price for the same 5 nights, their standard room goes for 120,000 points per night, and you'll notice that the 5th night free is automatically factored in when you're booking the stay. So rather than paying 600,000 points, you'll have to pay 480,000. In other words, 20% off. And then doing our math there at the bottom of the screen, we take our roughly $7,000 stay divided by 480K points times 100, and we get 1.47 cents per point. And given that Hilton points run about 0.5 cents per point on average, that's triple the average value. Or stated differently, you stayed at a $7,000 exotic hotel and didn't pay any cash for it, but definitely bring some money anyway to pay for food, activities, and other stuff too. And for our 7th and final maximum redemption, we gotta give Marriott a little bit of love too for some of their luxury properties. The method here is very similar to what we did with Hilton. You wanna take your Amex points, transfer them directly into the Marriott Bonvoy program, and then you can stay at luxury hotels. And Marriott also has this program called Stay for 5, Pay for 4, which is their version of a 5th night free as well. And that's available to all Marriott Bonvoy members, even if you don't have any status. So just sign up for their program, that way you can redeem points, and you'll also get access to that really great benefit. The example that we'll cover here is the Westin Hapuna Beach Resort out in Hawaii. For this itinerary, I also searched for 5 nights out in November, and the cash rate averaged $680.83 plus $829.68 in US taxes and fees for a grand total of $4,233.81. Then flipping the switch to see the point rates per night, they ranged from $56,000 per night to $64,000 at the higher end. And you can also see that the free night benefit is also automatically factored in. So the total here was 234,000 points plus $185 in resort fees and $33.23 in taxes. So zooming on out and doing our math there at the bottom, we have our cash rate minus the fees and taxes we'd still have to pay when redeeming points, dividing by the amount of points we have to use, 234K, times 100, and we get 1.72 cents per point. And since I value Marriott points around 0.7 cents per point on average, that's almost 2.5 times the average value. Or said another way, you stayed at a $4,000 hotel for about 200 bucks. Good job. And with all that said, if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit other people, then please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, to get $25 when you open a new SOFI checking and savings account and deposit just $10 or more, and to view my all-new site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. I thank you all for watching today's video. I hope it brought you some great value. I look forward to seeing you in my future uploads, and while you're waiting on my next video, always remember that you are great.